Hey, what's up everybody? This is Henry Island, and today we're going to talk about a new camera that just came out from Canon a couple of days ago. We're going to talk about the new R1, and we're going to do a quick comparison of it between the R3 and the R5 Mark II. I'm not going to go deep into the specs, just going to talk about the camera a little bit and show you how it looks compared to these two, and basically my thoughts on how the camera feels. The R3 was a great camera. Love it. It's a speed demon. Its autofocus is really good. I like it a lot. I'm a little controversial when it comes to this camera right here, the R5 Mark II. I say that the autofocus is better than it was on the R3, and I even said that the R5 was better looking as far as autofocus than the R3. But you know, everybody has their own opinions, and I'm not necessarily on that level of pros. But I do a lot of shooting, and I do everything from sports to nature to weddings to landscapes to videography. So I do a lot. This right here, the R5 Mark II, to me is the best camera that Canon has ever made. I like it a lot. It's 45 megapixels compared to the 24 megapixels on the R3. And the R1 is also 24 megapixels. It has a 0.1, a little bit more. All right. So just a little bit about the R1. The R1 is 24 megapixels. It is a full frame camera. It is dual pixel autofocus with action priority. And that means that if you're doing basketball, soccer, and stuff like that, that it will follow the play and keep it in action. It does have eye tracking, of course, and it also has where it'll follow your eyeball, where you can set it up. It's supposed to be improved. It does 6K up to 60 frames a second raw. It does 4K and 120 10-bit internal video up to 40 frames per second pre-continuous shooting. So the way the camera is set up is as soon as you hit the shutter button, it automatically takes 20 photos before you even fire. That way you don't miss a shot. So I think that's really good. It's just like this camera. It does have the standard grip, which is horizontal, and it's going to have a vertical grip. All right. So with that being said, I'm going to slide these two babies out of the way right here for a minute, and we're going to pull out the R1. Voila. Nice box from Canon as always. Let's open this baby up and see what we got going on. You open it up. Now, I have never taken this camera out of the box, so I don't know what it looks like. I have no idea, except for what I've seen from Frono's photo. And I saw a video earlier from Vanessa Joy, and she was talking about it. But I don't know what it feels like. I don't know how it is compared to these cameras or the R3, the size. So in here, of course, you have your owner's manual and your warranty paperwork that you probably need to register. Let's set this right down here. All right. Let's open it up. Ooh. This is her, but I'm gonna leave her right here for a moment. I'm not gonna take her out of the box. Let me see, let's move this out the way for a second and see what else we have inside here. All right, let's see what we have in this baby. Let's pull this over here. Of course, you have your standard Canon strap, right? And it does have the R1 on it. All the professional cameras, it's gonna be in gold. So that's always nice. I don't really use those. I use hold fast. Of course, you have your cable locks right here to keep from messing up the side of the camera. You do have your eyepiece. Well, I can tell you already, this right here seems to be a little bit different. It has a ridge going around it. It's a lot larger. It seems to be firmer than what was on the R3. We'll talk about it again in just a moment, because that was one of the things that deterred me and I hated about the R3 was the actual eyepiece. I never really liked that. To me, it was a little too flimsy for that price of a camera. Of course, you have your cables here, USB-C. You're gonna have your battery. All right. Now this is the LPE19. Now they say that this battery holds more shots on it, and from my understanding, it'll charge faster. But you can use your regular LPE19 batteries. To me, it looks like it's exactly the same. I don't see a big difference in it. but that's what they say. Let's put that right here. And of course in here, you're gonna have your battery charger. Where's this standard? It looks just like the original. Of course, the cord for it. Okay. All right, so that's everything. So now that we have all the preliminary stuff out the way, I guess it's time to unbox this gorgeous thing and see what we're working with right here. So I'm gonna move the charger out the way, the cable out the way, the USB-C cord out the way, and here we go. The unboxing of the brand new R1. It seems nice. It seems like it's a little bit bigger than the R3. Now, one thing they said about this camera is that the buttons here, they try to make everything so when you shot horizontal, if you went vertical, right, that the buttons would be extremely similar. So you have a button here and here for horizontal, you have it here and here for vertical, right? Of course, this is great for weather sealing. These cameras right here have this hot shoe cover that locks into place. It feels really good. Let's put the battery on it real quick. Take this off right here. And be honest with you, it feels really, really good. So this is the R5 Mark II. Very, very close to the same size. With the weight, it feels extremely close to the R5 Mark II. And to do justice, I'm going to take this bracket off on the bottom of the R3, because right now it looks a little bit bigger, but if you take this bracket off, it'll get a little bit smaller. So give me just a second. And this is awesome that I have this here because I want to see if I can get it off real quick, if I got the right tool with me. There we go. I normally have a Allen wrench with me. So this is a L bracket base plate that I have on the camera. It's made by Really Right Stuff. So let's slide this right here for a second. And as you can see, the R3 is a tad bit shorter than the R1. Now, the R3 does have this texture on the body, and the R3 has it, but the R3's grip is really nice. It feels really, really good. Let me slide this back out the way. The eyepiece should just slide on. Oh yeah. Do you hear that lock? See, this is the R3's right here. And it was just flimsy. This piece right here was always so, it's soft and it's comfortable to the eye, but it's extremely flimsy. And I've torn probably about 3 of these, putting them in my camera bag. So I ordered this one that was screen printed from a company off of Facebook, and they're really good if you ask my opinion. But this right here is not as flimsy feeling. It feels good up to your eyeball. So that feels really great. So let's turn this baby on and see if it'll fire up, if I have enough juice. If not, I definitely have extra batteries with the R3 where I can definitely turn it up. The LCD is supposed to be larger and brighter, and so is the EV. It's supposed to be the brightest EV ever made by a camera. Let's see. Turn it on. Do I have any juice? No juice at all. Easy fix. I'll take the battery. Whoop, wrong camera. Uh-oh. Put that baby back right there. That's what happens when you have a battery grip on an R5 Mark II. You grab the wrong camera. let's fire it up. Boom, there we go. We want it in English. Today is November. And I will go back and make sure all of these cameras match up, because I'm really big about my times matching up perfectly. Because when you're out shooting and you're doing weddings and stuff, like, you want everything to line up. And it might sound crazy. This camera is a speed demon. It's made for sports and everything. But I use it for sports, don't get me wrong. But I actually use this camera more for video purposes. I love the camera for video. It's awesome. The R3, the biggest thing about the R3 that I hated is it did not have C-Log 2. So the R5 Mark II has C-Log 2 when it came out, and I have two of those. I have the C70, which I'm recording on right here. It has C-Log 2 on it, and the R3 has C-Log 3. So I wanted everything to kind of match up. I wanted the profiles to match. I think with a firmware update, they could have done it just like that and implemented C-Log 2, but they never did, so we were stuck with C-Log 3. This camera has C-Log 2, and they say that autofocus is better on this camera than on the R5 Mark II. So that we will have to see. I will take it out into the real world, and I will do some photography of eagles in flight. The other week, I was out photographing the R5 Mark II, and a blue heron flew by. And it was almost sunset, and it was dark, and I just picked the camera up and have a 600, and I nailed it. Boom, 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 boom. Bird almost completely out the frame. It's still locked, focus, and grab. With the R3, I would have never got that shot. With the R5, I seriously doubt I would have got that shot. R5 Mark II, I nailed it. I should be able to nail it perfectly with this R1. This is it in vertical. It feels extremely good. Now, it is heavier. I can definitely say that. It's heavier than the R3. But it feels great. The top dials up here are the same. Your drive mode and everything. On the back of the camera, it looks extremely similar. You do have more buttons down here. The on and off switch is over here. This right here has more of a toggle on it. This is more rounded. And it's supposed to be easier to navigate through the menus and adjust. So we shall see. Up here you do have your white balance. You have a white balance button, exposure compensation, and a light. It goes to the menu. Of course, your shutter, everything. The front, I guess you still have these same buttons here. They just, the ergonomics on it are a little bit different. One big thing about this camera, though, I can tell you, is on the R3, it took a CF Express card and an SD card. Womp womp. Why? This camera, you push it down, it has a lock on it because it's weather sealed. And it seems like they say it has the same weather sealing as all the 1D series cameras, like the 1DX, 1DX Mark II, 1DX Mark III. So this right here seems a little bit better because it has a lock on it. You lock it, and it takes two CF Express cards. Kudos to Canon. So the reason why that is, if you're shooting 40 frames a second or 30 frames a second, and you're shooting to a CF Express card and you're shooting back up to an SD card, the CF Express can handle it. Your backup can't. The SD cannot keep up. Some people shoot RAW and JPEG. Some people say, well, I'm going to shoot RAW and my backup will be JPEG in case I mess up. At least I have a backup. No. I do not shoot RAW and JPEG. To me, if you shoot JPEG and you mess up, if you're overexposed or underexposed, too bad, your image is ruined. You need to shoot RAW. So if you can shoot two images that are RAW at the same exact time, that's awesome. And then you can have a card, like on this one, I would be out shooting and I would go into certain frame rates for the for video, and it would tell me that it couldn't record because I had an SD card in it, right? Because I wanted to record at weddings, I wanted to do one to CF Express and one to SD. So this right here, I don't have to worry about it. I have two CF Express cards in it. I don't have to worry about nothing. So that's awesome. I love that. I can't wait to get out and shoot with it. let me see some other thoughts. One thing I wanted to find out is the R5, the R5 Mark II, the R6, all those cameras, you could use the same base plates on the bottom if you had like Really Right Stuff or another company. So with the Really Right Stuff base plate on here, the way it would fit, it fit perfectly on the R3. So I want to see if it fits perfectly on the R1, because I'll be honest with you, I do not want to have to buy another one of these L brackets if possible. If I had to buy this piece, that's okay. I really don't use the L portion of it, but I use the base plate all the time. So let's see if this baby will mount. I pray that it does. If it does not, it is what it is. It's on there pretty good. I was just trying to tighten it down. Oh yeah, she locked into place. Oh yeah. Makes it a little bit larger. Oh, look at that. That's it. I have to make sure that I can get the battery out of it. It looks like it's gonna lock into place. I hope it does. Let's see. Man. So everything will fall into place. Of course, back here you have, you have the HDMI, USB, mic cable. Head jack, all the same ports that you had on your R3, you have on the R1. I will connect it to my cell phone here pretty soon. Of course, you have all the menus that you normally have: FV, program, aperture priority, manual, shutter priority, bulb. And then you have C1, C2, and C3. Of course, on the back, the video mode is in the same spot. Put that on manual for a minute. I'm just looking through the menu, just seeing if I see anything that stands out. Image stabilization is on already. It has it where you can view assist for C-Log, which is cool. I will be using that. Yeah, it does help. Used to, when I had other cameras, I wouldn't use it. I didn't think it was that great, but it really, really helps. Oh, auto power temp off. Standard. I'll put it on high. That's strictly up to you. I don't think this camera's ever gonna overheat. And for the most part, for a lot of the video stuff that I do, I will be using the R5 Mark II, and I do have the cooling grip for it. Works awesome. It does make a little bit of noise, but it's not that bad. All right, so some people are like, oh my God, your camera's gonna overheat. No, I don't think so. Custom picture on. There she goes, C-Log 2, right there, boom. And that's where this baby will live. It will do 23.98, 24, 60 frames and 120 in 4K, and it will do 240 in 1080. Woo! I don't care about that. No one's gonna be shooting 1080. No one wants to shoot 1080 anymore. I think Canon could have gave us 4K for that. Let's see if there's anything else in here that we really want to talk about. It's 5-axis, so with a lens on here, a good lens, you get up to 8. The ISO is incredible on this camera, and so is the shutter speed. That's just a quick overlook at this camera. If you guys want to get it, I do know that you can order at Camera Graphics in Auburn, Alabama, and they have them there. They also have the R5 Mark II, and you know, if you call there, hey, ask for me. My name's Henry, right? So I do work at the camera store, but I don't get paid by Canon. I'm not sponsored by Canon or anything. I just love Canon. I've been shooting Canon for 29 years. Anyway, guys, listen. I think it's a great camera. I don't know. What do you think? Do you think it's worth the upgrade going from the R3 to the R1? I mean, the R3 has dropped in price tremendously. If you try to sell the R3, the R3 will probably give you, if you sell it outright, you'll probably get like, I don't know if it's used, $2,500 to $3,000. If you trade it in, you'll probably get around 22 if it's in great shape. This one had right at 70,000 shutter clicks on it, which isn't a whole lot. But again, like I said, I use it for video all the time. This was my gimbal camera, and this right here will probably pair up with my C70 in the corners to get those great shots. And then I'll have the R5, one of them on the gimbal, and the other one will be for photos and stuff like that. So I'll put this on the gimbal and see how it works. Again, it is a little bit heavier than the R3, but I like the way it feels. It's a big purchase. It's a lot of money. Comes in at $62.99, right? That's a lot of money. And if you don't want to spend that kind of money, I mean, hey, that's up to you. If you want to save some money, get the R3. The R3 is a great camera. And if you want the megapixels, definitely pick up Canon's R5 Mark II. I still cannot see this camera being my favorite over this camera. Even for nature and wildlife, they're both weather sealed all the way. I do like the megapixels of this one right here. I wish that Canon would have gave us more megapixels. I mean, come on. Can't you give it at least 30? Can you give us at least 30 megapixels for the flagship? Like the 5D Mark IV, it was 30. That's a sweet spot. That is a great spot, especially for nature and stuff. So that way, if it's far away, you can zoom in and crop. Now they do say that this camera here, because of the processor and everything, that you should be able to crop in tighter and still have a cleaner looking image. We shall see. I know I did a play a while back with this camera in what they call a black box at the theater, and it autofocused in extremely low light, and it was superb, right? I can't wait to shoot with this camera here to see how it works, because this camera here is supposed to be way better in low light than, of course, this camera. But we'll see. Anyway, guys, tell me what you think about this video. Tell me in the comments below if you think that the R1 is worth it. If you don't think that it's worth it, just let me know. You're not gonna hurt my feelings any. I want your opinions. I want to know. Trying to get to at least 1,000 subscribers on this channel. I know I've been really slow about getting it out. It's taken me a long time. I do videos every once in a while. I need to get better at it. I got some stuff coming out. I'm doing a video really soon on Hold Fast again. I got some stuff that I want to talk about from them. And Maven Filters. Maven Filters is, I'm an ambassador for them. They make a great filter system, magnetic filter system. Love them a lot. You can check them out on Instagram at Maven Filters and on Facebook. Anyway, guys, again, tell me what you think. Stay inspired. Keep on shooting. And no matter what, love everyone. And we'll see you again in the next video. We'll talk to you soon.